Hello, I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, this was the activity we saw on November 7th on the west side of town in the front yard of Elgin's Gene Nelson. This 55-foot spruce tree, weighed 7,000 pounds and turned out to be 46 years old, was being cut down and placed on a truck bed to go to Chicago and become the 2019 Christmas tree for the city in Millennium Park. We spoke with Gene Nelson, who tells us about his donation to Chicago and his reasoning for making this tree a gift to Chicago. These pieces of facade date back to 1923 and to the old Crocker movie theater that stood in Elgin from 1923 to 2005. The executive director of the Downtown Neighborhood Association, Jennifer Vocala, will tell us about some of the future potential plans for use of these historic pieces of facade made out of terracotta so long ago. We will hear from City Council member Tish Paul about this month's Kwanzaa celebration that takes place at the Gail Borden Public Library. Our segment with Mayor David Captain brings Lisa Disborough of Waste Management to town to tell us about exciting new programs for 2020, including TV and computer monitor pickup in a program called At Your Door. We also will hear from Aaron Neal, the city's public works superintendent. What a night it was for the 40th Annual Elgin Sports Hall of Fame. A great crowd in attendance and 5 legends into the hall. We check in with the marketing director of the Senior Services Association, and that is Adele Larson. She tells us about some of the upcoming events for the seniors, and also we take a peek at both the old and the new logo for Senior Services. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. It stood 55 feet tall, weighed 7,000 pounds, and was 46 years old. And in November, this tree on Elgin's west side started its trip to become the 2019 Christmas tree for the city of Chicago at Millennium Park. Mr. Gene Nelson and family, the owners of the tree, were at the official tree lighting in Chicago on Friday, November 22nd. The tree was planted before the house was built, and while we watched it being prepared for travel to Chicago on this day, earlier we talked with owner Gene Nelson, and he explains his reasoning for this gift to the city of Chicago.
It came about because we've been looking at the tree and knowing that it's been a problem because of where it's planted and the size, that it's not usually where you put a big tree like that. So what was happening was the root system was heading towards the house, and it still is. So we said, well, we don't want to take a tree down just to take a tree down. Is there something we can do? And you can't, with the roots being the size they are, you can't cut the root system or you'll kill it. But then we said, well, if we cut it down, that's such a waste. But then we found out about the city of Chicago and their tree contest. And we saw some of the trees that had won. And I said, our tree's that good. Our tree's better than that. So I entered it a few years ago, and it was a runner-up, mainly because it was shorter. They said it was shorter. But it was a runner-up, so didn't think anything about it. I didn't enter last year, and then this year they contacted me and said, do you want to put your tree in the running again? And I was just about ready to go online and do it again, but it was like, wow, that's interesting. So I put it on, and then a couple weeks later, Neil from the city of Chicago said, your tree won. And I was like, what? As I was surprised, because it didn't win the last time, but I was really happy and excited, and that's how it all came about. So it was going out there to look at different ways to do something, and the reason this is important to us is because so many people are going to see this, and we have a lot of pride because of it being our tree. It's our family tree. No pun intended.
And Elgin's almost the Christmas tree capital of the world, because we had an Elgin tree just a few years ago as well.
Yeah, and we knew that because we've been paying attention to this, and we knew that they had won, and because we live in Elgin, we were always, anything Elgin that perks our ears up, bad or good on the news, we listen to it. So
you got all kinds of press here. You're a popular young man today.
Yeah, we are for today, but 15 minutes will be going soon. So
you'll be Gene Nelson of Elgin tomorrow, is that right?
That's right.
Well, wonderful. Well, we appreciate all the great help, and again, it is such a great honor to send that to Chicago. And any other thoughts for us?
No, just we're proud because of where it's coming from, and we're really happy that it's going to be meaningful to a lot of people.
We're going to get a chance to talk with Jennifer Fucala of the Downtown Neighborhood Association. You are a busy lady, my dear, aren't you?
I am. Thanks for coming to join me today.
We are delighted because we've followed you, the efforts now. Your group, your DNA group, was involved in recently we saw the old Crocker, the facade, the lettering all being refurbished and tucked away for future use. You're involved with that.
Yes, the DNA Design Committee, which is a group of volunteer leaders from the community that have expertise in the area of the built environment design. So historic preservation is part of that, architecture, and in some of our conversations about potential, future projects down here, the topic of the Crocker facade sort of kept coming up throughout the year, and we, had gathered some information about the fact that it needed to be sort of resecured and recatalogued. And, based on the conversations continuing to come up, we decided that it was a good time to go ahead and do that so that this material could be, better eligible for future use.
Sure. Well, they talked about, we were there when they were, redoing it a little bit. Mr. Zimmer there and all the folks, Tom Armstrong, they were finding it and placing it in better care so it would weather the winter a little bit better because it was just tucked away outside. Mm-hmm. But we were told the facade, you have three big facade portions right there in your window here at the DNA. Yes. Now that can be used to frontage for businesses all over, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, there are developers that, there's some locations down here that are subject to redevelopment, some open lots and things. And so there is potential that, somebody in the future may want to incorporate some of those historic elements into new buildings. And, in the past when the facade had been taken down, it was originally cataloged and secured, but the pallets and sort of the way in which it was packaged had just kind of naturally broken down over time. And so we're, our crew has been out there. You mentioned Michael Zimmer. He's really been a huge asset on this project and has a lot of passion for historic preservation in the community of Elgin and has, really taken the lead on this. And, with the assistance of his fellow committee members, they've been out there just, working with these blocks and stacking them and logging all of that information, and everything has been put on steel reinforced pallets, so hopefully be easier to move and easier to use. And this is just really the first step in the process of figuring out what is the best opportunity for these pieces.
Most interesting. We were there when the Crocker we found, Bruce Shepyor found all the letters, and the guys found the letters, so we were able to spell that out. Now, the Crocker, you're a class of 2000 Larkin, and it was torn down in 2005, and it hasn't shown a movie, didn't show a movie after like the early 1980s, but you know the folklore of the Crocker, don't you?
I do, yeah. I mean, it used to be down here on South Grove Avenue, and there was a couple theaters down there at one point, but the Crockers it was an old movie house that, had sort of stood the test of time and was operational until the late 70s, early 80s, like you had said, and then it kind of went through a period of not really knowing what to do with the building, and I think there was some opportunities at the time that just didn't come to fruition, and so it became, it came to the point where a decision had to be made about whether or not it was going to remain standing, and so the decision was made to take the building down, but to preserve the beautiful facade, and so we're hoping that, there will still be an opportunity for that, to be utilized.
No question. It's beautiful as we see it right now. Take a look at some of that facade, so that'll be fun. So it'll be fun to see that around town wherever it might appear in business form.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's interested in coming and seeing, we have 3 decorative blocks here on display. They're made out of terracotta, and, it's really, the kind of building material that's, not widely produced anymore at this time. And there's beautiful urn patterns and scrolls and griffins that, used to adorn the front of the Crocker. And so we'd be happy to have anybody stop by the DNA office. We're open 9 to 4 Monday through Friday. If you want to come see it, come take a selfie with it, whatever you want to do, you're welcome to come visit us.
Your location?
We're at 31 South Grove, Suite 100, right here across the street from Jimmy John's.
All right, sounds good. Well, Me and the Facade sounds like a new movie, doesn't it?
It does.
So, and that dates back to 1923. Jennifer Fucala, we always appreciate all your great work, and it's exciting with the Facade program.
Thank you for your interest.
That's our conversation with DNA's Jennifer Fucala. Next, let's go to the Gale Borden Public Library, as it will be the site for a holiday celebration in December that is free and family friendly. and very educational as we check in with a lady in the know.
Hello, my name is Tish Powell, Elgin City Council member, and I'm here to invite you to our pre-Kwanzaa celebration at Gail Borden Public Library on Sunday, December 8th from 2 to 4 p.m. Kwanzaa is actually a week-long African-American celebration of family, community, and culture that has taken place in the United States for decades. And we here in Elgin have had this pre-Kwanzaa celebration, I believe, for the last 3 years. It is hosted by Gail Borden Public Library and the City of Elgin's Cultural Arts Commission.
On the day itself, we'll have music, dance, and plenty of things, won't we?
Yes, it's free, it's family friendly. We have interactive activities for kids. There will be African storytelling and dance. And one element that we're adding this year that we're excited about is Kwanzaa-based food, because there are certain foods that are eaten during the week-long Kwanzaa celebration, which takes place from December 26th through January 1st.
Can you tell us about the 7 principles of Kwanzaa?
Yes, the 7 principles of Kwanzaa are Umoja, which stands for unity, Kujichagulia, which stands for self-determination, Ujaima, which is collective work and responsibility, Ujama, which is cooperative economics, Nia, purpose, Kaumba, which is creativity, and Imani, which stands for faith.
Wonderful. And this is a great community event, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot of fun, and I really like the fact that we have several different community organizations that partner with us and basically host different stations to celebrate each of the 7 principles. And there's an activity for family and children to get involved with to celebrate each of the 7 principles.
It's going to be time for our segment with Mayor David Captain. We're indoors and very busy today, Mayor.
We are, Jeff. We're out at the Public Works Garage. With us today is Erin Neal from Public Works Department and Lisa Dibrow from Waste Management. She's going to be community representative, and she's their public relations lady, I guess is a good way to put it.
We know her well from a few years ago.
And she was, we did a program with her a few years ago, and we're going to talk about the upgrades and the new waste management contract that goes into effect after the first of the year. And we have a truck behind us, a propane truck, and I think it's good to start out with that and talk about waste management in general. And they are very environmentally conscious, and all their vehicles are being converted to natural gas in Elgin. They've already got a good start, and it makes us really one of the leaders in the area in solid waste disposal and in being environmentally friendly and sustainable. So I think, Erin, why don't you start out and give us just a couple of quick points as to what the new program looks like for 2020.
And you know a lot about this truck as well. Can you tell us about this truck?
Well, I'm going to leave that up to Lisa.
Okay, let's warm up, Lisa.
Yeah.
All right.
But I do know that Waste Management has over 100 compressed natural gas stations in the nation. Lisa's maybe saying 300. But yeah, they do a lot for the community. But what we do want to talk about today is the new 5-year contract extension that the City of Elgin has executed with Waste Management. Waste Management has been our solid waste and recycling partner for over 2.5 decades. And this contract with Waste Management is the largest service contract that the City of Elgin has annually. So when you think about garbage, they stop at over 1 million homes every year, picking up garbage, refuse, and solid waste. But this year, after some staff recommendations and deliberations by the City Council, the agreement that we've executed has some enhancements for the Elgin community, including, most importantly, a rate freeze in 2020. So Waste Management and the city have worked to get a rate freeze in 2020. We're also rolling out an at-your-door recycling program that is an enhancement to our household hazardous waste and sharps program that is currently in place. We're moving forward with a senior discount program to eligible seniors, and we're also rolling out an organics program. So not only are we providing the baseline service for Elgin community that they are used to, Waste Management and the city are rolling out some new programs to hope further extend our commitment to being sustainable and a forward-thinking community, as well as utilizing Waste Management moving forward with these programs.
Well, that's great. Of course, when folks call 311 in Elgin, it's often a question about the garbage. So you you are really popular, my dear.
We are popular. We're excited to and thrilled to continue our partnership with the City of Elgin and continue to provide excellent service to the residents here.
Let's talk more about the new items that Aaron talked about a little bit, because that's going to, you know about these.
Yeah, and I think maybe Lisa can tell us about the electronics pickup and at your door service, because that's going to affect everybody in the city. The other programs are a choice. It's like a la carte. You can pick to do those if you choose to, but the electronics pickup and the at your door service is something that the city council wished to pass on to everybody. It's an opportunity for everybody to get rid of things that maybe they've been having in their garage or in their basement for too long. So Lisa, explain that to us.
Sure, absolutely. The At Your Door program that launches in January 1st is going to be an expansion of the current program where we'll accept electronics like your old monitors, your old TVs, that can be included in the program now, along with needles or sharps. So if you're a person at home that has to use sharps or needles for your medication, you can now include that in the At Your Door program, which is a great way and a much safer way to get rid of your needles for disposal.
Oh, that's great. All size TVs, because I still see a lot of them. We're not picking up right now as we talk with you today, but we see all kinds of TVs out there.
Yeah, so we'll take all size of TVs with the program. You just call and schedule the collection, and we'll swing by your home and pick up the materials at that time. So it also includes paints and pool chemicals or other household chemicals that you might have in your home.
Just make sure they know it's coming, so no additional tags or anything like that, do you need?
No, you just call and schedule, and we'll give you the date, and you'll just place it outside your garage, and we'll tell you how to package the material, and we'll pick it up for you right at your door.
This is great, Mayor.
And Lisa, how many times a year can you do this?
The program, the At Your Door program, is offered throughout the year. We briefly touched on the organics program, which is going to, with your yard waste now, you can also subscribe for an additional subscription for food waste collection. That would be like your fruits and your veggies. We're not going to accept meat or bones or anything like that, or compostable paper in this program. But from April 1 through December 1, we'll be accepting organics with the yard waste for an additional subscription service. So that's a great way to also increase the diversion here in Elgin.
And again, 311 will have all the information on the website, city site as well.
Absolutely, and that's the best place to ask the questions that you need answered. And, this is becoming more and more comprehensive, and it's always something that's, I guess it's a work in progress. I think one thing we need to talk about briefly, a few years ago we upgraded and had some discussions about the recycle program and the materials that are eligible to be recycled and the things that are not. And that is, there's constant flux because of the way that it's disposed of now, but we need to go back and touch on those again. And there's going to be a marketing program over the next few months, some more explanation as to what is recyclable, and we really want to make sure that the things go in the proper place. And, garbage is garbage, recycle is recycle, but we have to make sure they go in the proper place. Otherwise, it just really causes problems with the overall program. And one of the things I learned, you always have something as mayor, you pick up information, and they talked to me about tanglers, and I didn't know what a tangler was. But a tangler is something
that was you
like
dancing.
A hose or a piece of wire that was in the recycle, and it tangles up the equipment, so it can shut down their equipment for a period of time, and just delays the process. So these are things that we want to get out to our community, and we want to be as efficient as we can and do as good a job as we can to be a sustainable city.
Yeah, no question. Aaron?
Yeah, and one of the things, and I want to go back to the community or the partnership that the city has with Waste Management. They're not just here for a 5-year contract extension. They come out to public events. They come annually to our Public Works Open House. They are part of Earth Month activities. They're around the community. We just finalized a brochure that is going to be mailed out to all 30,000 households in Elgin that describe the new program offerings. And one of the things I did want to touch on as we talk about being sustainable, again, is these CNG trucks. And I was reading yesterday that each one of these trucks that Waste Management puts on the road reduces diesel fuel by 8,000 gallons a year. Each one of these trucks that goes on the street allows Waste Management not to fill them up with diesel fuel, and each one is 8,000 gallons. So when you talk about carbon emissions and greenhouse gases, it's a lot bigger than just recycling for Waste Management.
Will we see only this truck on the streets of Elgin?
I believe that they have about 25 in Elgin that are going to be rolled out. But yeah, I can let Lisa talk.
By January?
So we're already utilizing our some of our CNG trucks here in Elgin. They're utilized for the trash and recycling service. We still use some of our diesel trucks for the yard waste collection here in Elgin, but we have over 60 trucks here in the area. We use 12 in the community of Elgin. And like Aaron was just speaking to, not only is it a reduction of the diesel fuel, but it's also 14 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions reduced with utilizing these trucks. So, and they're quieter. One of the things that we hear quite a bit from residents when we start to utilize our natural gas truck, they'll call in and say, I didn't hear the truck coming down the street. Well, you're not going to hear these trucks coming down the street. So, as they operate at a much quieter than the diesel vehicle.
Only the mayor's garbage will be noisy, is what you said.
That's correct. Well, the mayor's pretty noisy too. So.
We're about 3 minutes left here.
That could be a problem for me because on my garbage day, it's usually the garbage truck that reminds me at about 6:15 that I forgot to take my cans out. So,
what about some of the naughty problems we talk about with you kids where, well, if I have just like a regular bottle that has a top to it, we're supposed to take the top off, is that right?
I believe we're supposed to keep the top on.
No. We switched, didn't we?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that the city of Elgin has encountered with our Recycle Right, Recycle Often program is plastic bags.
That's trouble.
Plastic bags are trouble, and they are not to be placed in your recycle bin. So that's a lot of times is in the campaign to inform residents of how to recycle right. You cannot put plastic bags because when they go to their transfer facility at Waste Management, those are one of the tanglers.
Well, you talked about that when we were here last time, and it's much easier. Folks say, I just put everything singularly in the recyclables. It's an easy concept.
Right, it's an easy concept, but there's also, if you don't know, then go check it out. Go to the City of Elgin's website, go to our website, Recycle Often, Recycle Right, and find out what actually goes into the recycle can. Remember, we want no food, no liquids, and to keep the materials loose, as Aaron mentioned, don't bag those recyclables. We can't tell if they're recyclables or if they're trash.
Last time you talked to us, even our own Jeremy Hayes didn't realize he couldn't use a bag, so you informed him. Congratulations.
There's always an opportunity to learn every day, right?
It's an amazing thing. Mayor, we're down to about 60 seconds. Anything else?
Sure. I think that one thing we should make clear at the end, we get this question all the time, and we have to educate people because people are constantly moving into the city of Elgin. This is a program that we created options for people. If you pay as you go, it's an a la carte kind of thing, and you can make those decisions. The city of Elgin makes no money off of this. This is a pass-through for us. So Waste Management sets the cost. We collect the money through our water bill, and we pass it right back to Waste Management. But build the program that you want, build the city that you want, and make a sustainable community, and that's what we all want.
Wonderful. And again, we look for information paper-wise to come our way by the 1st, and also the 311 always.
Absolutely, and Waste Management's going to start spearheading a public education program, and we're going to be out in the community talking about it as well.
And you're going house to house, I said.
Door to door, house to house, like a true campaign man that I am. But no, the city staff is utilizing different mediums. We're going to use social media, Facebook, Instagram. Channel 17 obviously is the best medium. We're going to be mailing.
I like your spirit.
Yeah, we're mailing brochures out to all 30,000 households. So we're doing everything we can to get the appropriate information into everyone's hands so that we can move forward into our new contract and be successful as we have been over the last 2.5 decades with Waste Management.
Wonderful. And my dear, we always like when you bring your entourage to us.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, we like to travel with a group. And we're really proud to bring our natural gas vehicle here today to the city of Elgin and show it off to the viewers.
Wonderful. Well, the mayor says we're a green city like a decade plus ago, so he knows these things.
It's been a long time. We're looking forward to a great relationship, and as Aaron pointed out, this is a partnership with us and Waste Management. We look forward to that partnership continuing.
All right. Well, reality became fact today because I was talking garbage. But it was fun to do. Thanks, kids. Thanks for talking to us.
Jeff, we'll see you next month.
All right. Thanks for visiting us.
Thank you.
Aaron, we'll see you door to door.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right. That's our segment here on the Mayor David Campton segment. The big crowd gathered early at the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame in the Heritage Ballroom in the center of Elgin in November as 5 new members went into the hall. 2 super fans, also 2 Elgin basketball stars, one from the 50s, one from the early 70s, and a Larkin lady who excelled at 2 sports for the Royals.
At Larkin, I played both basketball and softball. Had a little bit better softball career. 4-year all conference, all area, player of the year, 92. Played Played for Coach Shabert. Great guy. A lot of fun times over at Larkin.
Your thoughts on being inducted in the Elgin Sports Hall of Fame?
Oh my goodness, such an honor. Great group of people that I'm with this year. I'm so excited for Dave St. John. I wouldn't have wanted to share this moment with anybody else.
And speaking of Dave St. John, the city's superfan and a new Hall member, we talked with Dave about one of the toughest losses in the history of EHS basketball.
One that's really stands out was when we got beat by West Rockford, and they had that infamous 6 points in 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Lost in the last
Are you
few
there?
seconds.
Are you there?
I was there.
Whoa.
Absolutely. And kind of goes back to the Elgin High girls went down and played Stevenson. And
1996.
96, Stevenson had the Catching Sisters.
Yeah.
And
We led in that game 4-2.
yes, we did. And that was a real moment for me. There's been so many. All the Elgin Larkin games, crosstown rivals, they're all special to me.
Hi, I am Christine Binkley, and I'm accepting the award for my dad, David Covey.
How do you feel about this night?
I am so honored. I wish that he could be here tonight, but I'm sure he is. Looking down.
Yeah, because wherever we were, he was there as well. So that's wonderful. Dave just loved all of Elgin sports, didn't he?
Every single sport, every single gender, didn't care what it was. He was there. And if he wasn't there, he was reading about it the next day.
Also inducted great EHS basketball star Rich Hopkins, class of 71. How did he feel about this great honor?
I love it. I never thought that would ever happen, and I'm very proud that everybody thought that I was worth it.
Oh, for years we've known you've been worth it. Talk about some of the highlights for EHS in the late 60s, early 70s.
It was that I loved Coach Chesbrough. He taught me a lot. He taught me a lot about growing up as a man, too, not only as an athlete. And it's been just a great pleasure to be a student and an athlete at Elgin.
And last year, you might recall, the 56-57 EHS basketball team was recognized by the Hall. This year, they're a great guard and also is a great football quarterback for EHS. Dick Becker went in as an individual. We're at Senior Services Associates right here in Elgin, and we have the main lady in charge. Adele Larson, how are you?
I wouldn't call myself the main lady in charge, but thank you for that. Director of Marketing.
All right. Well, she's so close to that. Hey, you're always great things happening here at Senior Services.
Absolutely.
Talk about some of the events. We got bingo behind us, don't we?
Absolutely. Bingo is a crucial thing here in Elgin. They take it very seriously, and they look forward to it all the time. So it's every month.
They told us we have to whisper as well if we're riding for bingo.
Oh, no. I don't think they've quite begun yet, so I think we're safe.
Your location is?
We are here at 101 South Grove, but we also have an entrance at 205 Fulton. Gets a little confusing, but yeah, we're right now on the Fulton side.
If we want to get a hold of you?
We call 847-741-0404. That's actually a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week. We are available to the seniors and the disabled in the community.
You have a great website as well.
Yes, we do. SeniorServicesAssoc.org. So the abbreviation of the word association.
That's great. Got a great crowd behind us. It's always fun to be out here. Yeah. And Minnie puts on so many parties.
Yes, she does. And the seniors look forward to it all the time. Just a very active calendar.
In the month of December, you have a Christmas party, don't you?
Yes, we do. We're looking forward to that. And we actually have some things for our staff as well to thank them for all the work that they do.
And with 2020 arriving, you are unveiling a new logo.
Yes, we are. It's basically what we're calling a logo refresh. We're calling it familiarity with a flair. And it's basically very similar colors, still have our very recognizable heart on the logo, but look for it. It's on our website already.
All right, we're seeing that right now. Logo Refresh, that's called. That was my original air name.
Was it really?
Yes, it sounds good. So we appreciate all your great efforts. Thank your staff. It's always fun to be out here at Senior Services. And the police always come out so well for you for the meals, don't they?
We so appreciate the community, especially our first responders who come out. We appreciate it very much.
All right, Adele Larson, we appreciate that. Bingo day. We better be quiet here at Senior Services. Thanks. You can learn more about the information you saw here in Elgin today or about city services, programs, and events by going to the Elgin website at www.cityofelgin.org. And now the City of Elgin has a 311 contact center. Elgin 311. Call, click, connect by calling 311, the city's information and request resource. Elgin Today was produced for the City of Elgin by One Source Productions. I'm Jeff Myers. Thanks for watching Elgin Today.